Hello my friends and welcome back to another video. So I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Well, actually I don't even know if anyone's gonna notice, but I cut my hair and I cut it too short, shorter than I would have liked for it to be, but that's what happens when you cut it yourself and you aren't paying enough attention. So it's kind of short, you know. We're working with what we have, you know. I have this little hairstyle going on today. I feel like I look like I'm 12, so, you know, I'm not really sure, but I will be experimenting with hairstyles because until this grows out just like a little bit, I'm going to want to dye a little bit inside. So, you know, if I look a little bit different every time, you know, I can't promise that because I'm probably going to get so tired of trying hairstyles that I'm just going to look the same all the time because it's going to drive me insane. But, you know, I might experiment. We'll see. But yeah, so, you know, let's just pretend it looks really good, and I meant for it to look like this, and you know, let's just move on. I am doing 22 books that I want to read in 2022. That's a lot of twos, but I have a love-hate relationship with these videos. I think they are great for people who like to have goals throughout the year. I think they're great for people who really want to do specific things with reading and like have, you know, specific goals for the year. I'm not a goal person, like not in the sense of I like to write out my goals and, you know, like do that. I just like it puts too much pressure on myself and I will feel like complete crap if I don't follow through. So I try not to like do goals like that, like hardcore goals, you know, that are gonna make me feel bad about myself, especially by the end of the year if I don't like get to them. So I'm just doing this as like a, you know, like a loose goal thing, you know, like if I get to these, that would be cool because I've been putting off some of these for a really long time. Some of these are new books that I'm like really excited to read this year, but again, this isn't like full force, like I am 100% committed to reading all of these books by the end of 2022 because I just think that's super unrealistic. If I do it, awesome. If I don't, you know, I tried my best. I did what I could, and that's all anyone can do. So this is just like a fun video. I'm not trying to like make this like hardcore and like crazy or anything like that, but I just thought it was a fun idea and I wanted to participate. And a lot of these books are like carrying on from my like end of the year TBR for 2021 when I was like, I want to read these books by the end of the year, hopefully. So obviously I didn't do that. So I'm including them in this year's. Let's talk about the 22 books that I would like to read in 2022. So the first book up on this list is House of Holo by Crystal Sutherland. You will probably recognize this book from, oh, I don't know, everyone talking about it. I also included this in my 2021 end of the year TBR. I didn't get to it, obviously. I'm hoping to read this year just because I own it. It sounds good and people really liked it. Yeah, I think I might read it fairly soon. I say that a lot though, and I'm a mood reader, so saying that's not really like helpful to me because I change my mind fairly quickly. But I do want to get to this. I've heard a lot of people liked it, so I don't know. It's calling me. The next book that I'm going to mention is a book that I actually recently bought. I think it was at the end of 2021, but it is Zombie by Joyce Carol Oates. Wow, I just stuttered so hard. This is an interesting book. I have never read anything by Joyce Carol. Oh my god, why can't I say the name? I have never read anything by Joyce Carol Oates, but this one is supposed to be about a serial killer, and it's told from the perspective of a serial killer, which intrigues me so much. So much. I actually am really fascinated by books told like you're you know, from Joe's perspective. I think that's really fascinating. So I will be very interested in this. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it, but like I said, I kind of don't pay attention to all the books that everyone talks about, so maybe I've just not been paying attention. But yeah, it sounds good. It's actually fairly short, so I feel like this will be a really quick read, so I'm really excited. I don't know. Let me know if you've read it. I would like to know what your thoughts are. Okay, the next book that I'm going to talk about is a book that I've actually had for a few months and haven't picked up, and I don't really know why, because I think it sounds good. I don't know, it hasn't like grabbed me, but I want to read it, and that is Geek Love by Catherine Dunn. So I actually don't know much about this book. I saw it on TikTok, I believe, like Book Talk. I believe people were talking about it on there, and people were saying that it's like super bizarre and disturbing. I just stuttered over the word disturbing, but like I don't really know what it is. Like I don't know. I haven't heard anyone talking about it. Like I've heard people talking about it, obviously, but not like what it entails. So I'm like nervous that I'm gonna get myself into something that like I might hate or I could love. So I'm not really sure how this is gonna go, but it's a National Book Award finalist. So next up is a super popular book, a book that I have seen everyone talking about. Like everyone read it last year. I was going to read it last year, and I actually started this book, but I ended up not really DNFing it because I do want to read it. I just couldn't get into it, and I was in a really bad reading slump, so I kind of put it to the side, and I just never picked it up again. But I do want to read it, so I didn't really DNF it, you know. But that is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This is a story about an inappropriate teacher-student relationship, deals with grooming, so it's a very dark book. Everyone loves it. I haven't heard a bad thing about it, honestly, and like I said, I didn't really DNF it for any reason other than I was in a super bad reading slump. I think this was around October. Yeah, October was bad for me last year. I could not read anything. So I think I just like started it. I think I got like 70 pages in and I was like, man, I can't focus. So I just like put it down. But I do want to actually finish this book. I do want to read it. I do want to like give it a full chance because I obviously didn't really give it a full chance, you know? So yeah, I do want to read this. I hope I get to it this year. I should. I feel like I should. I feel like there's no reason I can't get to it this year. So this is on my list. The next book is a book that I feel like doesn't even really need an explanation on why I haven't read it or why I want to read it. And that is The Girl Next Door by Jack Ketchum. I was supposed to read this last year in like August, and honestly I couldn't bring myself to do it because I'm kind of scared to read this book. I'm actually kind of scared to read this book. I think it's gonna be really hard for me to read. It's a very, very, very disturbing book. This is based on a true story, which I think is why I'm not excited to read it. I've heard it's a very hard book to read. I've heard it's very tough. It's very... I mean, I don't even think there's words to describe how bad it is. I do know the story. I've seen the movie that talks about this true story. So I just... I don't know. It's a struggle for me between thinking I will have such a tough time like reading it and like absorbing it and getting it, you know, like getting into it and like dealing with it, but I'm also just like really interested, and I don't know. It's a weird struggle I'm in between, so I don't know, but I do want to eventually read this. I just think it's going to be a lot. I'm going to have to set aside like 2 weeks to emotionally, one, read it, get through it, and then like overcome the feelings after finishing it. So we'll see. I'm not going to pressure myself with this one, but I do want to eventually read it. Next up is a classic that I have never read because I have no excuse. I don't know why I haven't read it. And that is Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin. And honestly, I don't even want to talk about this cover. I'm furious that I have this cover. If you don't know, I literally bought a different cover from Barnes & Noble, had to email them about it. They sent me a replacement that was the exact same cover that I had gotten by mistake. Then I emailed them again, and they've never emailed me back. So I think I'm stuck with this for the time being until I get a different copy. But yeah, I've never read this book. I've seen the movie, but I've just never read it. And I don't know. I feel like I should, you know. I don't know. It's a classic. I don't really have any, like, you know, I don't have any real reason. I just think it would be good. Witches, you know, sounds fun. Here is another book that I included in my 2021 end of the year TBR that I never got to. Shocker. Surprise, surprise. And that is Penance by Kane Minato. I love Confessions so much. I will never stop talking about Confessions. I will never, ever, ever, ever shut up about that book. It is a masterpiece. It is perfection. It is delicious, delectable, amazing, wonderful, perfect. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say about it. And I just think it's only fair that I read Penance as well, because why not? It's another revenge story, and I feel like if Confessions was the perfection that it was, then Penance has to be close to that perfection as well, if not the same kind of perfection. I know people say that it's not as good, but still, I want to give it a fair shot. I want to see what it's like, and I want to read it. I want to read it. I want to love it. I want to admire it, okay? And that's why it's in my 22 books, okay? The next book is another book that I feel like people never shut up about, and I feel like I'm missing out, and I want to read it. I just haven't gotten to it, okay? And I need to know what the hype is. I need to know what everyone's talking about. Everyone loves it so, so much, and I just haven't gotten to it, okay? I haven't. And that is They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. Do I need to say more? I feel like everyone knows about this book. It's a thriller, and it's supposed to be like utter perfection. It's supposed to be like the best. It's about a woman who kills men. I mean, do I need to say more? Sounds like perfection to me. So I mean, like, I don't know. But no, like, for real, it sounds really, really good. It sounds like it's a very interesting concept that I'm excited about, and I don't know, I'm just intrigued. I'm interested. I wanna see, like, what it's all about, you know? So I don't know, everyone talks about it. I'm feeling left out, okay? So I need to read it. That's why it's in this list. And also Sav from Riveting Reads loves it, and I love Sav, so I have to read it, you know? So the next book that I am putting on this list is I Remember You. And yes, this is a very hard name for me to pronounce because this is an, like, Icelandic name. And you know I have trouble with names. However, there is a pronunciation on the back, which I highly, highly, highly appreciate. And so it is pronounced Ursa Sigurdardóttir, I think. I mean, that was very, like, not great because I was, like, reading it, like that, but I think that's like how you pronounce it. Thank you so much for the pronunciation on the back. So I believe this is a like haunted house ghost story, but it's also the winner of the Icelandic Crime Fiction Award, which I think is very interesting. I'm really into like Icelandic, well, that's not true because I haven't read any Icelandic books, but like what's like I was reading like Swedish crime and like stuff like that, and it was very interesting. So I'm very interested in this one to see what it's like. I've heard good things about it, and I love a ghost story, so I feel like this will be a lot of fun. Also the cover, oh, you can't see it that well. There you go. It's very pretty. Very, very pretty. The next book on my list is a book that I have had for like 6 months and haven't read it, and I'm kind of annoyed by it, but that's typical Erin. So that book is Bloodline by Jess Laurie, and this is a small town with secrets kind of thriller. I think it sounds amazing. I remember when everyone was talking about this book, and that's why I bought it, because I was like, oh, everyone's talking about it. It sounds really good. I'll probably love it. And then it sat on my shelf this entire time, because that's pretty much what I do every time I buy books, because I can't, I don't know, because I'm me, okay? And I just really want to read it. I think it sounds really good. I've heard good things, like I said, and it sounds like it's up my alley, like a small town with secrets. Like, I love small towns with secrets. That's so fascinating in thrillers. So I think this one will be a home run. The next book on my list is another book that I feel like everyone talks about, and I just haven't read it yet, and that is 12 Nights at Rotter House by J.W. Auker. And yeah, I mean, it's like a haunted house story. I remember the first time I heard about this book was through Nakia from Nakia's Hideaway, and she was talking about it, and I was really fascinated by her review, and it made me want to read it. And then I added it to my TBR. I never bought it, finally bought it, and have yet to read it. So I mean, that's pretty much how it works for me nowadays. So I don't know, you know, I'll read it when I get to it, I guess, but I do want to read it. I've heard it's like not the typical kind of haunted house story. It's supposed to like play the tropes that we all know and like switch things up. So I'm interested. I've seen mixed things about it, but I'm interested. I want to give it a go. So the next book that I have to talk about is a book that I really wanted to read when everyone was talking about it. I never bought it, and now that I own it, I want to push it up on my list because I think it's going to be very interesting, and that is A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. So this is basically a reimagining of Dracula, but from like the perspective of his brides, which, I mean, yeah, sounds cool to me. But I think I've heard it's really good. I don't remember much about what people were saying about it, just that it was like really, really, really good. I think it was a lot of people's favorites of last year. Like, a lot of people were into it. It's a very short, so I feel like it'll be a very, very quick read. I love that it's from the bride's perspectives. I've never read Dracula, so I don't know. I don't want to read it. It's so long, and I've heard it's really boring, and I just like, I have like a thing about really boring long books, and I just don't know if I can make myself read it. So I'm like not excited to read Dracula, but I feel like this could be a great substitute for me reading Dracula, you know? The next book up on my list is one that I recently bought. I feel like you saw it in one of my more recent hauls, and that is Cunning Folk by Adam Neville. We know I loved No One Gets Out Alive by Adam Neville. It's one of my favorite horror books to date, and so I'm just really interested in reading this one. It is a folk horror novel story, which folk horror isn't like my absolute favorite, So I'm a little iffy, but I loved No One Gets Out Alive, and I loved it so much more than The Ritual by Adam Neville, and so I feel like I need to give him another chance and read something else, because if I didn't love The Ritual but I loved No One Gets Out Alive, I feel like I'll probably like something else he writes. I just haven't read anything else, so I'm hoping this one I'll at least enjoy and like, but yeah, I don't know. I'm interested. I like the cover a lot. I think it's really cool, and I just want to see what it's like. I want to see what it's about. I want to see what the vibe is, you know? Okay, the next book is honestly a book that I keep putting off, and I can't explain to you why I'm putting it off except for the sole reason that it's long and I'm nervous, okay? And I know it's a good book, and I know everyone loves it, and I know it's like amazing and wonderful and beautiful and perfection, okay? But when you're me, long books are kind of hard. So I just put it off. I put it off and I keep putting it off. But I really, 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 really want to read this book, okay? I really do. I really do. I think it'll become an all-time favorite of mine. And I just need to push myself. I need to push myself. And that is The Good House by Tananarive Due. How many videos will I put this book in before I actually read it? I know, everyone loves this book, and I know I'm probably gonna love this book, I know, but it is chunky, and the print it's tiny, okay? It's tiny. I'm sorry. It scares me, it puts me off so bad, and I need to read it, I know, and I want to read it so badly. I need to just do it. I need to just do it, because honestly, if I read this book 1 month and this is the only book I read that month, I'll be happy. Like, to be honest, I will be extremely happy. So I think I just need to, like, pick a month. And this is the only book on my TBR. And I just need to sit down and read it, and then whatever happens, happens. And if the wrap up that month is just this book, I'll be satisfied. Like, to be honest, I just need to do it. And I just need to suck it up. I just need to suck it up, because I know I will love it. I know I will. Well, I mean, I guess I could not love it, but I'm anticipating I love it. The next book on my list is The Cipher by Kathy Koja. This book has been on my TBR for like a year, and I've owned this book for about a year, and I haven't read it, and I really don't know why. I really don't know why. Sometimes I just look at it and I'm like, do I want to read it? Yeah. But then I'm like, meh, I'm going to pick this book, and then I don't read it. But I need to. I've heard so many people talk about this book. It's supposed to be like really crazy and like really bizarre and, you know, just like, and like crazy, you know? And I've heard great things about Kathy Koja, and I need to push myself, okay? And I need to do it. I just need to do it. I just need to do it, okay? It's a classic. Well, I don't know if it's a classic, but a lot of people talk about it, and so it's a classic in my head. And I just need to read it. I need to figure out about the fun hole, okay? I just need to do it. I just need to sit down and read it. And hopefully I will this year. The next book on my list is Hex by Thomas Oldquevelt. It's a witch story. I've heard it's creepy. I've heard it's dark. I've heard it's scary. Fingers crossed. You know how I feel about when people say things are scary. But I really want to read this. I want to see what the hype is about. I know he has his new book, Echo, coming out this year, which I don't even know what it's about. I really don't know what it's about. But I want to read it. But I want to read this first. And I want to get to it. I just need to sit down and get to it, and I don't know. I want to see the creepy, spooky witch story, okay, that everyone was talking about. I just want to know what it's like. Next up is a book that I haven't had for too long, so it's a newer book of mine, and that is Small Favors by Erin A. Craig. One, it's just beautiful. This is just a beautiful book. It's super, super pretty. This is a YA horror. I've heard this book is just like really magical, and everyone really, really likes it. I believe She has another book that I want to check out eventually, but I want to read this one first. It is a little longer than like I typically want to pick up, but I've heard so many good things about it that I just want to get to it, and I think it sounds really fun, and I feel like I'd really like it, and I really do typically like YA horror, so yeah, I just kind of want to know what it's about. I want to know what the vibe is, what's the idea, what's fun, you know? So hopefully I get to this fairly soon. I really do want to read this soon. The next book I'm not even going to talk that long about because it was in my 2021 end of the year TBR. Didn't get to it. It's The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. Why have I not read this? I don't know. Do I want to read it? Yeah. Do I like Grady Hendrix? Yeah. Has it gotten some bad reviews? Yeah. Do I still want to read it? Yeah. I mean, like, I just, you know, I don't know what to say. I love the final girl trope. I don't think it's overdone, even though everyone thinks it's overdone. I don't really think it's overdone. It's one of my favorite tropes, so I don't really care. I'm like, yes, final girls, yes, give it to me, thank you. So I'm excited for this. Don't know why I haven't read it yet. Can't explain it. Yeah, I hope I read it this year. Next up is a book that was one of my most anticipated releases of 2021, but I ended up not reading it because people started reviewing it and they were getting like, it was getting really poor reviews, and I got really nervous thinking I wasn't going to like it, so I haven't picked it up after buying it, and now I'm really nervous to read it because I feel like I might hate it and it might become a DNF for me, and I'm like not excited about that. And that is The Death of Jane Lawrence by Caitlin Starling. Look, it sounds great. The plot sounds awesome. It's gonna be gothic. It's gonna be fun. Sounds like a Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of thing going on, and I'm excited about it. But then reviews started coming in and people were like, it's not what I expected. It didn't give me what it promised, and I was like, oh, okay. You're making me want to put off reading it. I'm getting worried that I'm gonna hate it. So that's exactly what I did. I put it off, and now I haven't read it, but like, I bought it. I need to at least attempt to read it. Like, come on. Be a big girl, Erin. You can do it. If you don't like it, DNF it. It'll be okay. Like, you know, I just need to like grow up. But like, I just got nervous after everyone saying that it wasn't that good. I got like scared. And I like didn't want to get disappointed by any more books than I already had been that year. So I was like, ugh. So I'm nervous. I'm still nervous, but I need to read it. I own it. I bought it. Try to get your money's worth, Erin. Like, come on. So I'm gonna try to read it this year. Next up is actually a newer release. I believe it came out December of 2021, and I actually picked it for one of my add-ons for January of this year book of the month thingy, and that is A History of Wild Places by Shay Earnshaw. I think that's how you pronounce her name. But yeah, I honestly don't know what this book is about. I actually didn't read the plot at all. Literally no idea. I just saw people talking about it and saying that it was very like magical, and like the writing was very beautiful, and it was just like captivating, and honestly that kind of sucked me in. I don't know why I picked it up. I just saw a lot of people raving about it, so I got excited. And I'm a sheep, so I followed the herd and I did what other people were doing, and I picked it up. I did it through Book of the Month, so that way it was like less expensive for me, and that way like it wasn't a huge disappointment if I didn't like it. But yeah, I'm excited. I just love beautiful writing, and I don't know, I like books like that. So I'm hoping that this is just like truly like beautiful, and like just like I just want to be like captivated by a book and the writing, and I feel like this could be a great contender. So okay, next up is another Book of the Month book that I got like, I don't know, like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I don't really remember, to be honest. They all blur together after a while. And that is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. So, I know everyone has their opinions on Riley Sager, whatever. I want to read all of his books, okay? I just want to, for my own mind. I just need to know for myself how I feel about all his books. I don't really want to listen to everyone else's opinion. I just feel like his books are something I need to read for myself and just feel how I feel about them. And I don't want to just like be persuaded by other people. So I am gonna try this one fairly soon. I was gonna do Home Before Dark first, but I don't know. This one sounds more like it's gonna be up my alley. It sounds more thrilling, in my opinion. I know that's like controversial because everyone loved Home Before Dark, but I just really think this one might be more for me. I don't know. It just sounds more like it's gonna be my vibe, even though Home Before Dark is like a haunted house story. I don't know. This one just sounds, it's intriguing me, okay? It's intriguing me. Ideally, I will read all of his books this year since I have them all. Might as well just like do it and like be done with it, you know, like try it. So I just think I'm gonna start with this one first because it's the one that grabs me the most. So yeah. Okay, we're on the last book. Thank God, because I feel like I've been talking for 600 years. And this book, I'm not gonna lie to you, I bought this book because everyone was talking about it. And I bought it when it first came out, like when it first released, and I have never read it because, well, the size kind of put me off, to be honest. But that is The Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig. I've never read anything by Chuck Wendig, so this will be my first, but look at this. Chunk City! Look at how big that is. The cover is beautiful. It's very eye-catching. But yeah, I don't know. I actually don't even really know what this is about. I think it's it sounds like it's like a supernatural thing, like a ghost. I don't know, actually. That could be totally wrong. Okay, so it's about a family returning to their hometown and a dark past that haunts them still. So maybe ghost, maybe not ghost. I really don't know what that means. I don't know what I'm expecting from Chuck Wendig. I've never read anything by him before, so like I don't know. Look at how long this book is. Oh, it's like it's almost 600 pages. So I don't know, but I want to read it because I bought it, and you know, buy what you read or read what you buy. Whatever. Anyways, I need to read it, so I'm including it in the list because why not? Okay, my friends, those are 22 books that I want to read in 2022. And obviously those are not new releases. These are, well, there are some new releases in there, but I mean like not any new releases that I'm anticipating for this year, because I just, that would be hard to do right now. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope to get all of these read. That would be great because honestly, I kind of need to read the books that I buy. That would be, you know, good. That's kind of what I need to do. So I'm hoping that I actually do read these eventually. I really hope I can do that. It's gonna be February in like a week, and so I'm hoping that, you know, the rest of the months that I have, I can balance new and backlisted books. I can just balance them better. I feel like I need to do better with reading the new books I buy, but also the older books that I have on my shelf. So I would really like to do that this year. I make no promises though, because I'm me. So, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen. But I hope that I can read all of these. That would be really nice. And I'm excited about all of these books. I do want to read them. I just haven't gotten to them yet. That's what the problem is about being a mood reader. I just can't always pick up books that I need to read. I just have to pick what's calling to me at the time. So hopefully I do get to these books fairly soon. But yeah, let me know what books you want to read this year. If you are trying to read some of your already owned books as well, or, you know, whatever. Just let me know what kind of books you're trying to read this year. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. It lets me know what kind of content you enjoy from me. That way I can keep providing you with that kind of content. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We can become friends. Talk about books, movies, manga, horror, spooky things, all kinds of stuff. And I hope you are having a great day, night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!